Hello, I'm Sifu Lamar M. Davis II. I would like to welcome you to the video series, Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do Complete. This is the most in-depth series ever completed on Bruce Lee's fighting method, covering everything from all three phases of Bruce's development: the Seattle phase, the Oakland phase, and the LA Chinatown phase. If you've already seen the first 6 volumes, then you're ready for the next volumes, which are covering energy and sensitivity training along with trapping hands. So this is the area that you commonly hear referred to as sticking and trapping. Okay, Bruce Lee placed a lot of emphasis on the sticking and trapping hands. And it is this aspect of Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do that draws most people to this art. In the next few volumes, we will cover, as in-depth as possible, all of the energy and sensitivity drills, the sticking hand movements, and the trapping hand movements that make Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do such a formidable fighting method. In the Seattle period, Bruce Lee taught primarily Wing Chun. It's Bruce's background in Wing Chun that gave him this incredible energy and sensitivity capability. His sticking hand skills were developed to such a level that there were very few that could even touch him during sticking hands. And as soon as the opening was there, he was on top of you so fast that there was nothing you could do. In the Oakland phase, the sensitivity drills broadened and flourished, and there was even more emphasis on energy and sensitivity. By the time the Chinatown phase began, the energy and sensitivity drills were developed to a very high skill level. Certain students during the Chinatown period were well known for developing a great deal of skill at the energy and sensitivity drills for sticking and trapping hands. Okay, it's very important that you understand that these energy drills are to help you sense, detect, feel the energy of your opponent. There are several different types of energy that you may encounter in a conflict. Now, the question that a lot of people have had about these energy and sensitivity drills is, what good are they? Because when you get in a fight with someone, you do not come up and engage hands and start to stick hands with them, or you do not come up and engage hands, as you saw Bruce Lee do with Bob Wall in Enter the Dragon, and start to fight. And you can't, of course, say, no, that's not how we're going to fight. You have to engage my energy before we begin. See, a lot of people, when they see these drills, they look at these drills in an unrealistic way. They don't see the practicality and the effectiveness of the drill because they look no further than what they see in the drill itself. The applications for these energy and sensitivity drills are many and varied. And it is these drills that take the skills that you learn in volumes 1 through 6 to the highest level. So, I hope you'll enjoy the second phase of the series, which covers energy, sensitivity, and trapping. Welcome to Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do Complete, Volume 8, Energy Sensitivity 2. In this tape, we'll be taking you further into the energy drills that you saw in the preceding volume, Energy Sensitivity 1. We'll start off with some basic energy drills. The first thing that we're going to do is what we refer to as the 5-way energy drill. This is just a simple drill to train you to react to certain types of energy from an engaged position. At this time, Mark Turkwitt will join me and we'll demonstrate this 5-way energy drill to you. Okay, the first type of energy that we're going to deal with here is what we call a forward energy, which means Mark is going to be pushing directly toward me, okay, as if pushing straight into my center. So, from the on guard position, engaged outer wrist to outer wrist at the high line. He presses forward, and at that time, I could either pop or I could time, either way, against that energy. I could time, okay? Now what I'm doing here is when the punch comes in, I go right into a Tan Sao or palm up hand, or against that same energy, I could pop and hit. Okay, we're going to concentrate here on the Tan part of it. The Tan, palm up, then I throw a rear hand straight punch here, like so, across the line for the strike. So, from here to here. As soon as I feel the slightest pressure, I know he's coming, I feel the direction of the energy, and I automatically react with what we refer to as Tan Da, which means Tan Sao with a hit. Notice vertical fist punch with the elbow down. Here's the Tan Sao position. Notice I torque my body through into the punch. That's very important. This is forward energy. Upward energy would be if he pressed upward like so, as if trying to raise my arm to expose target here. Alright, so against this upward energy, I would immediately use Woang Pak or cross slap and strike low straight into the floating rib area with a Ping Chuie or horizontal fist. So once again, upward energy, I react with Pak Sao and Ping Chuie. Now this would be what we refer to as Woang Pak or cross slap right here. Okay, now when you combine that with a strike, it becomes Woang Pak Da. Very direct, as you can see. Notice the final position here. Notice the elbow is down. Notice the Ping Chuie, driving the larger center knuckle right into the ribs. Very painful strike. The next energy that we're going to deal with is what we refer to as inward energy. Okay? He's going to push in like so. All right, as soon as I feel the pressure, I allow him to slide by. I use an inner lap sao and strike with the back fist. Like so. Do it slow a few times. Show you what it's like. We'll speed it up. As soon as I feel the energy, I yield and spring back with the back fist, trapping with the inner lap sao, back fist going immediately to the head, like so. The next energy that we're going to deal with is a downward energy. This time, he just simply goes down as if to suddenly decide to strike me low. All right, as soon as I sense him leaving, going downward, I feel that energy. All right, I simply pop down and fire a straight punch straight into the face. Okay? So I just deliver a downward Pak Sao with the rear hand and straight punch right into the face. Notice that when I deliver the Pak, I deliver as close as possible to the elbow joint. That's very important with the Pak Sao, because as you'll see later in Volume 9 in Rules of Trapping, the elbow is the key to controlling the center line. So whenever you deliver a Pak Sao, you want to come as close to the elbow as possible so you control the center line better. Okay, now Mark will reverse his lead and we'll engage with the other hand. Now this time, he's going to push this way. This is an outward energy. As soon as I feel that, I have several options. I can Lin Lop and back fist, but what we're going to discuss here is outward energy with the lead hand. Okay, and he's going to be here, and he's going to be pushing me this way. Okay, now you see when we're in opposite lead, and he pushes this way, this is very similar to the same energy that you saw here a while ago. So here, I react like so, and here, I react like so. So that would be another way to apply that particular drill. All right, now, we go back to here. All right, this time, we're going to change the engagement position. Instead of outer wrist to inner wrist, or outer wrist to outer wrist, we're going to be inner wrist to inner wrist. All right, now he's going to push outward like so. Okay? Now, as soon as I sense this, I'm going to pop and hinge a back fist. Okay? Very slow. As soon as I sense, I pop, I hinge, and I back fist. So once again, this is outward energy. I pop and back fist. Notice the tight hinge. This time I'll put this hand behind my back and I'll just demonstrate the hinge in the back fist. Notice how close to his arm I stay. Very important in this drill. Okay, now we'll reverse our positions. Let you see all 5 of these from the other side. We'll cover it rather quickly this time, so pay attention. Forward energy. Tan Da. Tan Sao with a hit. Upward energy. Woang Pak. Cross slap with a hit. Okay. Inward energy. Inner lock with a back fist. Okay. Downward energy. Rear pop with a lead straight punch. Okay. Outward energy. Pak Sao with a back fist. Like so. Thank you, Mark. This is the basic 5-way energy drill. In the next sequence, we'll show you what we refer to as the Woang Pak Drill. In this sequence, we're going to show a drill that's called the Woang Pak Drill. This drill is rather difficult. It exercises the Woang Pak, or cross slap movement. We'll also be working economy of motion in our Chung, Chuie, or vertical fist punching structure in this drill. Mark will join me now and we'll demonstrate the basic form for the drill. Now in this drill, rather than do it from a fighting stance, we're going to be just out of punching range, so the person with the longer arm should actually be the person to measure off. So Mark will measure off so that he's just outside punching range. Okay, now, what we're going to do here, one of us will extend a punch. Doesn't matter who. I'll let Mark extend. Okay, now, we're going to show you this very slowly so you can kind of get an idea what this is all about. Okay, now, I'm going to pop here. This is a Woang Pak, or cross slap. I'm going to pop here and punch to the inside of Mark's arm. Now, he's going to pop and come under my arm and punch. Then I'm going to pop and come under his arm and punch. So it's just a cycle. Notice the emphasis on economy of motion in both the defensive move and the follow-up punch. Okay, now notice from here, I just drop under his arm, bending my elbow just enough to be able to snap another punch in. He'll answer with a Woang Pak, he'll do the same thing. I'll answer with a Woang Pak, then I'll go. Then he'll go. Now, to change, what we'll do is from here, I will slide this arm across as I punch with this arm. Mark will come in with the other arm. I'll answer with a Pak. Now we're going with the other side. Same thing, just going to the other side. Then for the change here, see how convenient that is? See how I just meet the oncoming punch, and we're going again. This is the drill that we call the Woang Pak Drill. This trains the energy into the Woang Pak Sao movement. Now I want to show you the application of this drill. On guard. Okay. If Mark and I were engaged in combat, if he were in a right lead and I were in my power side forward right lead position, and if he were to fire a punch at my head, see, I used the Woang Pak or cross slap and punched simultaneously right into his face. Again. See how that works? All right, now, if he were in a left lead, and I'm in a right lead, and he fires the punch, see, from the other side. Okay? I deliver the Woang Pak with the lead hand and punch to the head with my rear hand. Like so. So it can work against either right or left lead. Thank you, Mark. That is the Woang Pak Drill. In the next sequence, we're going to show you a drill that's referred to as the Inner Lap Sao Roll Drill. In this sequence, we're going to demonstrate what we call the Inner Lap Sao Roll Drill. We're going to go right from that into what we call the Jeet Sao Roll Drill. Then we're going to go right into that into mixed variations of the two. Okay, Mark will join me now. Now, for this particular drill, you need to pay really close attention or you can lose us real fast on this one. There are several complex movements. We're going to show you with one side first. So Mark's going to put his right arm behind his back. I'm going to put my left hand behind my back. And we're going to show you this drill with just one side only so you can see from the inside what's happening here. All right, now, Mark is engaged to my wrist, inner wrist to outer wrist engagement. All right, now, I'm going to rotate my wrist, go to an inner lock. Now I'm going to pull about halfway. I'm going to release, and I'm going to deliver a vertical palm toward his chest, which he's going to deflect inward with a Phuc Sao. At this time, I'm going to hinge and roll a back fist over the top. He's going to go to Boang Sao, and then we're going to return. Okay, now it's Mark's turn. He will do the lop, the palm, the back fist, then we return. Okay, so notice what each side is doing here. All right, I do the lop halfway, return with the palm. He comes in with a Phuc Sao. I roll a Chuie or back fist. He goes to Boang Sao or wing arm, then we return together. All right, now Mark is on the inside. He will do the lop, pull back about halfway, release, fire the palm toward my chest. I deflect it inward with Phuc Sao. Then he rolls a back fist over the top. I go to Boang Sao, then we return. That's how it works. Now we'll flow the cycle from this one side a few times. Let you see what it's like. We're going to go kind of slow. Okay? Looks simple. Try it. It's not that easy. All right. Now, Mark is on the inside, which means he'll be doing the lap sao first. Okay, now, when we do this with both arms, there's a little trick to this here. All right. He can go with either arm first. It's not locked into a set pattern. In other words, he doesn't pull with the right arm first every time, then the left arm. He can go with either arm first. Okay, so we'll go through this kind of slow. Let you see what it looks like doing it double like this. Begin when ready. Notice we're speeding up a little bit now. Speed is a very important part of this drill. Once you get the flow pattern down, you know what you're doing. This really develops your neuromuscular response system so that you respond to different types of energy exerted quickly. Okay, that's the inner Lap Sao roll drill. All right, the next drill that we're going to show you is the Jeet Sao roll drill. Okay? This time, the man with his wrists on the outside will be the first to move. All right, now, as before, we're going to put one arm behind our back, and we're going to show you the drill from the inside. All right, I do what we call a Jeet Sao, which is a jerking hand. I pull him down just a little bit, I release, and I punch straight forward. He rolls into a Boang Sao, or wing arm. Then he'll roll a back fist over the top. I go to a Boang Sao to deflect his back fist, then we return. Now, his wrist is on the outside. He will deliver the Jeet Sao, the punch, then I roll the back fist, and we return. Now I'm on the outside, so it's Jeet, punch, roll, return. 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 Just that simple. All right, watch again closely what each side is doing. Jeet Sao. Okay, then he goes to Chung Chuie, or vertical fist straight punch. Punching straight up the center. I deflect with Boang Sao, or wing arm. Then I roll Chuie, or back fist, over the top. He rolls to Boang Sao, or wing arm, to deflect my Chuie. Then we return together. So you have Jeet Sao. He straight punches, or rather I straight punch, he goes to Boang Sao. Then he rolls a back fist over the top. I go to Boang Sao, then we return together. Then he'll Jeet Sao, straight punch. I respond with a Boang Sao. Then I roll the Chuie over the top. We return together. Okay, now we'll show you what this looks like with both arms. Once again, as before, either side can go first. In other words, I'm not going to do it with the right side first every time. One time I might go with the right side first, the next time I might go with the left side first. Okay, now we'll do a few cycles slow and let you see what this looks like. Remember, you're trying to develop a smooth, even, continuous flow here. That's very important. Also, notice sometimes there's a little bit of a hesitation before the Jeet. Other times, right off of the flow, okay, go with this side. Okay, right off the flow, you'll come right off the Jeet, go right into the roll, see? That's another way that you can develop your skill in these drills. Kind of break up the rhythm, kind of break up the timing so that your partner never knows quite what's coming next. All right, we'll do a little bit more. This time we'll speed it up a little bit. This way you'll see what it's all about. Okay? That's how the drill works. All right, now, the next stage in these drills is to mix the two. Now, this is where it can get really confusing, because what we can do now is either start from the Lap Sao or start from the Jeet Sao, and we continue through one full cycle of the Lap and go right into one full cycle of the Jeet. Or if we Jeet first, we continue through one full cycle of the Jeet and then go through one full cycle of the Lap. Okay, once again, we'll show you with one side first. Okay, now, the thing here is either side can lead, so you might want to decide at first who's going to lead. All right, in this case, I'm going to let Mark lead. All right, he's going to go with the Lap, the palm, the roll, the Jeet, the punch, and the roll. Now we're right back to here, okay? Now, I'll be going from the Jeet, so I'll go Jeet, punch, roll, Lap, palm, roll. Then he'll go again from the Lap. Lap, palm, roll, Jeet, punch, roll. Jeet, punch, roll, Lap, punch, roll. Or Lap, palm, roll, rather. Okay? Notice how, right here, at this point in the drill, he has to return to here for the Jeet. Okay, now, in his part of the drill, right here, from here, we're going to flow right into that Jeet. So see, we're halfway through the complete double cycle here. I have to momentarily go back to here in order for him to complete a Jeet Sao, okay? All right, so we start out the cycle with me delivering the Jeet, but the Jeet occurs halfway through the cycle for Mark. So he has to make sure that during his cycle, go when ready, he waits for me to come back to Jeet position before he delivers his Jeet Sao. Because if during that cycle, if I didn't return to that position, see, it's kind of hard for Mark to do a proper Jeet Sao. So when you're training with your partner, remember, right here you have to return to that position. Once again, freeze it now. See? He's going right into the Jeet, and here I am waiting on him so that we can complete the cycle. All right, now, we'll show you what this looks like with both sides, and then we'll show you how we do a full cycle, then we change up and do a full cycle the other way. Okay, so I'm going to let Mark start. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, now, I can either do a double Huen Sao and come out on the inside, or he can do a double Huen Sao and come out on the outside. Now we've reversed. Now he'll go. Now it's his turn to start with the Jeet cycle. Okay, and it's my turn to start with the Lap cycle. So you can also break up the timing during this drill. Okay, sometimes we like to play around during these drills a little bit. All right, that completes the inner lop roll and the Jeet Sao roll sequence, including the mixed application. In the next sequence, we're going to go into what we call the Boang Sao, Lop Sao roll, and all the changes that can occur to change your positions during that drill. In this sequence, we're going to demonstrate what's referred to as the Boang Sao, Lop Sao roll drill. Some JKD practitioners simply refer to this as the Boang Sao drill or the Boang Sao roll, but we prefer to use the entire title Boang Sao, Lop Sao roll. All right, as the title describes, this involves the development of two basic movements, the Boang Sao or wing arm and the Lop Sao or grabbing hand. In this case, they're going to be used in conjunction. Now what we're going to do, we're going to show you this Boang Sao, Lop Sao roll drill. We're going to show you all the changes. Okay, now what I mean by changes is when we do this, I will engage my right side with my partner's left side. All right, now somewhere in there we'll want to change sides to where my left side will be engaged to his right side. Now through these changes, that's how you learn to change sides, so you engage from the opposite side. Now in this drill, there's several ways to do it. You can start off in opposite leads and then you can continuously switch leads. But rather than confuse the drill and be constantly switching our leads, we prefer to do this from a square position and simply torque the waist and the hips to change the leads. Notice that as long as it doesn't involve the lower body, I can change my lead simply by shifting from the waist and the hips and bending my knees a little bit. I can go from a right lead to a left lead. In fact, if neither foot is actually leading, the lead is determined by the hand position. So this would be a right lead, this would be a left lead. Now this basically comes from Wing Chun. Now, we're going to show you several changes, and we're going to try to make this as clear as possible. But sometimes these changes can get a little bit confusing. So all I'm going to ask is that you pay very close attention here, and hopefully you'll be able to experiment with a partner and get these changes down. If nothing else, maybe you can attend a training camp or personally attend a seminar where this drill is covered, and you can get some hands-on experience doing it one-on-one with me, and I'll personally help you to develop this skill of changing positions. Okay, Mark's going to join me now, and we'll start the basic roll. We'll show you how the basic roll works, and then we'll get into the changes a little bit. Okay, now we're going to stand square each other. We're going to bend our knees. All right, now I'm going to start out by extending a Boang Sao. Mark's going to extend a Chuie, or back fist. Okay, now, here's where the Lop Sao comes in. I grab. Now, don't commit my thumb to this. I just grab, I pull him down, and I roll a back fist. Now, he goes into a full Boang Sao, which breaks the grip from my lop. Okay, now he'll lop, pull my back fist down, then I'll meet his back fist with a Pak Sao, then I'll lop him down. He'll go to Tan, then I'll go to Tan. So we just roll. This is where the term roll comes in. We just roll. Very simple. Now, as I was saying, we'll teach you several different changes that you can use to change sides. First of all, though, I'm going to point out to you the contact here. Notice that we maintain contact at or near the elbow at all times. That's very important. Some instructors teach this drill where the contact is lost. But when the contact is lost, a certain degree of potential for developing sensitivity is also lost. So rather than do this drill in the hammering fashion that some instructors like to do it and disengage the arms and then re-engage the arms, we prefer to go for a smooth, even energy flow with constant contact. Seems to make the drill much better for developing your sensitivity. Okay, so we'll go into the row, and I'll start to show you some of the basic changes that we use. I'm going to show you the changes in more of a simple fashion. I'll show you the easier changes, and then we'll gradually progress to a few changes that are a little bit more difficult. Okay, notice Boang Sao, Chuie, okay? Wing arm, back fist. Okay, I lop, I back fist, okay? Now, he goes to a Boang Sao in the low position, and his Pak Sao turns into a lop Sao, and we roll. Now notice, you can't quite see this here, but if we change angles just a little bit, you'll see roughly a 45-degree angle here. Once again, you'll see the 45-degree angle, the 45-degree angle. That's what you're dealing with on this roll. Some people don't use that angle and they're just doing this. Okay, they're not developing the range of motion here that they should be developing. Sure, this is motion economy, and we always aim for motion economy in Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do, but this is not what we're looking for here, because some of the changes would be impossible if we were just executing our movement in this range. So to get the full development of the drill, we use that approximate angle here. You're looking at actually about 90 degrees here, okay? If you're looking at a line here, you're looking at his arm pointing down 45, my arm pointing up 45. You've actually got, from his arm to my arm, you've got about a 90-degree angle. Once again, you'll see mine pointing down roughly 45, his pointed up roughly 45, for a total of 90 degrees. So we're working for that 90-degree angle there. Notice how the roll is smooth, even, and continuous. We'll turn it this way so you can see the elbow, and you'll notice we never lose contact at the elbow. That's very important. You never lose that contact. All right? Now we're going to start showing you some changes. The first change that I'm going to show you involves a Lin Lop Sao, or cross grab. Okay. From here, I'm going to grab across, pull him across the center line, and punch. Okay. Now, the trick to these changes is that you always answer with a Boang Sao. If you always answer with a Boang Sao, you'll be okay. All right, now the roll continues on this side. Notice once again, we turn our waist and our hips into this to keep from having to change foot leads. Okay, now, my Chuie becomes a lop Sao. I pull him across the center, and I Chung Chuie, or straight punch. He meets it with a Boang Sao, and we've got a smooth change. A smooth change has taken place. Okay, now he'll change a few times. Okay? That's the first change, the lop Sao, or grabbing hand change. All right, the next change that we're going to show you is a relatively simple change. It's referred to as a Tan Sao change. Okay, once again, we engage, begin the roll. This time, my back fist simply becomes a Tan Sao. I pull him across the center. Notice his position. He's very close to being in a Boang Sao now. So this one's very easy to make the smooth transition right into the Boang Sao when the Chung Chuie comes in. All right, we begin the roll here. Once again, my back fist becomes Tan Sao, and I straight punch. Okay? That's the Tan Sao change. All right, the next change that we're going to show you is a lop Sao with a low hit. All right, now, on this drill, a lot of advanced practitioners like to answer the low hit with a Chung Sao, or sinking elbow. And then as the high hit comes in, they flow right into the Boang Sao to deflect the high hit. If you have the skill to do that, no problem. If you don't have the skill to do it, you're better off to stay away from it and just concentrate on waiting for the high hit with a Boang Sao. At any rate, it's something you might want to try once you develop a certain degree of skill. Okay. We start the roll. Okay, this time, my Quatuor, or back fist, once again becomes a Lap Sao, and I hit low, and then I go high. Okay? Then we continue the roll. Back fist becomes Lap Sao. I hit low, then I roll high. Then we continue the roll. Okay, Mark, you want to do a few? See the Chung Sao? That's Chung Sao. I drop, then he transitions to the high point, and we continue the roll. Once again, the Chung Sao in action. Okay? That's how that one works. All right, the next change that we're going to show you is the Woang Pak change, or cross slap. Now this one is a little bit more difficult. Might take you a little bit more work to get this down. It's mostly timing. Okay, once again, we begin the roll. All right, this time, when his back fist comes in, instead of meeting it with a pak, I allow it to pass. Then I meet it with a Woang Pak and return a back fist. So I go right from the Woang Pak position to a back fist, which once again he answers with a Boang Sao. Okay? So we're rolling. His back fist comes in, I allow it to pass. I Woang Pak, I throw my own back fist, and we're going the other way. Okay? That's the Woang Pak change. All right, the next change that I'm going to show you is what we call the low lop change. All right, this change is a bit more difficult. It requires very good timing, but it adds variety to the drill, and it's well worth the effort that it takes to acquire this particular change. Okay, Mark will join me again. Starting position, we begin the roll. All right, this time, from here, I turn my low Boang into a lop, and I fire my back fist, and he answers with a Boang Sao. So my low Boang becomes a lop, and I fire a back fist. This one's a little bit more difficult because of the timing involved to get that grab. Okay? Slow. See, I can either answer here and then lop, or I can just not answer and lock and fire my attack. So we can go either way. That's the low lock change. Now I'm going to show you a change that we call a Pak Sao change. As you probably already know, Pak Sao is the slapping hand. Okay? This is a very quick change once you learn to execute it. It occurs very, very quickly. Okay. From the roll position, instead of a back fist, I suddenly fire a Pak Sao into Mark's elbow and straight punch with the other hand. And he meets it with, once again, a Boang Sao. And we continue the roll, very slow. Instead of the back fist, I pop and hit. He meets with a Boang, and we continue to roll. That's how that one works. All right, now the next change that I'm going to show you applies what we refer to as a circular side cutting palm. Okay? So what we're going to do this time is, when it comes time for me to fire my back fist, instead of firing a back fist, I'm going to break away. Now he's going to feel the separation of energy. I'm going to make it a little bit obvious. I'm going to pull back, and then I'm going to cut in from the side. At which time he's going to answer with a Gong Sao and a straight punch, being what we refer to as Gong Da, meaning Gong Sao delivered simultaneously with an attack. Okay, now I'm going to answer his punch with a Boang Sao, or wing arm, and we continue the roll. Alright, so the way this looks, instead of a back fist, I break away. Now see how I've completely separated. I've broken connection. I come around from the side. Now he's going to break the grip here, go to a Gong Sao, fire a straight punch. I'm going to answer with a Boang Sao, and we continue the roll. Now from this side, instead of a back fist, I break away. See how wide this is? He feels the loss of contact. He sees the hand. He knows that the cutting palm is coming, and he simply does Gong Da, which I answer with a Boang Sao, and the roll continues. Okay, and there we go. Okay, now that's all the changes that we're going to show you at this time. Of course, there are more. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to sort of free flow. We're going to sort of free flow with the drill, and I'm going to change, he's going to change. We're going to just use whatever change we want to. We're going to show you what this looks like when you just free flow with either person, able to change whenever they want to. It's a lot of fun, and it's real good conditioning, real good endurance, as you're about to see. See how much fun? You really have a lot of fun with that. It's a great drill. Really increases the sensitivity. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about practical application. Okay. If Mark went a left lead, and I went a right lead, and he were to fire a straight punch, watch this. Okay? Notice the similarity to the drill. Once again, the drill. Okay? Now, the punch coming in. Okay, again. Alright, so that would be an example of the practical application of this drill. He fires a punch at me. I meet it with a Boang Sao. I immediately lock and hit him with a back fist. Okay, in the next sequence we're going to go into Arm Chi Sao, or single arm sticking hands. That will give you the basic skills that you need to prepare for Arm Chi Sao and cross Arm Chi Sao. In this sequence we'll be demonstrating what is referred to as Arm Chi Sao, or single arm sticking hands. This is a very important drill in Jun Fan Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Do. It comes from the Wing Chun style of Chinese Kung Fu. In Arm Chi Sao, several important movements are emphasized that are very necessary parts of both attack and defense. So you'll be working not only defensive, but you'll be working offensive energy here. Okay, now I'll do sort of a one-man demonstration here of what each side will be doing, and then Mark will join me and we'll show you what it's all about with two men engaging the energy. Okay, now there are three basic movements here on the part of each person involved. One person will start off with the arm in what's called a Fuk Sao, which is the bent wrist elbow in position. From there he will go to Jut Sao, or jerking hand, which is right here. Then from there the fingertips will point to the nose. He will fire a punch straight toward the nose of the partner, like so, and then he will return to the Fuk Sao position. Now in Jeet Kune Do, we emphasize always maintaining a guard. So the guard hand stays up here. In other words, while you're doing this drill, the guard hand is not allowed to just drop to the side. You train it. Make use of all your training time. Make everything work in your favor. Okay, so from here to here to here to here. Okay, so it involves 1, 2, 3 movements. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. All right, the other partner will have his left side forward, hand on guard. He'll be starting out in a Tan Sao, or palm up position. From there, he will go to a palm strike, which was intended for the chest of the opponent. However, the partner's Jut Sao, or jerking hand, will deflect the palm strike downward. So, from the tongue, we'll be going to a palm strike with a vertical hand position. So it'll be a vertical palm. All right, from there, we will be receiving the punch from the partner's Jut Sao. At this time, we will go to Boang Sao, or wing arm, to deflect that punch. And then we return to Tan. Now at this point, the partner will be in the Fuk Sao position, engaged with your wrist. So, you're going Tan to palm to Boang. Tan to palm to Boang. Tan to palm to Boang, like so. All right, now, so that you can see what this looks like from the side, I'll demonstrate it from the side also. Okay. One partner, Fuk Sao, Jut Sao, Chung Chuie. 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 The other partner, who will have his left side forward, will start off in Tan Sao. It'll be Tan Sao, palm strike, Boang Sao. 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 Okay, as you can see, this looks relatively simple, but the important thing is when you get with your partner and you engage the energy, you have to go for sort of a perfect coordinated effort on the execution of energy so that one partner is not relying on muscular strength or something of that nature. Instead, you strive to work together in harmony and create a balance of energy so that there's just enough energy there to maintain the contact. Now, you will feel a jolt of energy as you deflect with the Jeet Sao. You'll feel a jolt of energy as you fire the straight punch. So, there are times in here where you'll feel those little jolts. The idea, though, is to develop a smooth, even, continuous flow so that it becomes not like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but so it becomes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. So in other words, it's not a jerky sequence, but a smooth, even, continuous sequence. At this time, Mark Turkett will join me, and we'll go through these basic movements and show you what it looks like when you're training with a partner. Mark's going to start in the Tan Sao position. I'm going to start in the Phuc Sao position. Now, it's very important here. Okay, back up just a little bit, Mark. All right, it's very important here that the partner that's going to do the Tan Sao, that's the partner that's going to be firing that palm strike, they measure off of that palm strike so that they're about a foot from the waist of their training partner. This assures you that you're in the proper distance for this drill. His palm should be about a foot from my waist. Okay, so this is where we're going to start from. Now, another thing that we have to emphasize here is what we call the line of return. Now, the person in the Tan Sao position is responsible for getting you back to that line of return every time. Now, the line of return, now this is an imaginary line. You can't actually see it, even though it does exist. Take his shoulder and my shoulder and draw a line straight from the center of his shoulder to the center of my shoulder. And where that line intersects the wrist is where you should return to every time for this position. In other words, not down here, not up here, but right here. That's where we should come back to every time. Okay, now, I'm going to talk you through this. We're going to go through this real slow. I'm going to talk you through it and give you an idea of what it's all about, and then we'll just flow something with it. Okay, now, once again, I'm in the Phuc Sao position. Mark is in the Tan Sao position. Okay, he will execute the palm strike, which I will deflect downward with the Jeet Sao, or jerking hand. Then I will fire the Chung Chuie, or straight punch, directly at Mark's nose. He'll deflect with Boang Sao, or wing arm, which will force the Chung Chuie off center to the outside. Then we return to starting position. So, this is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, notice that we were doing the 1, 2, 3 thing just then. That's to give you some idea of what it's like to just do this on a very basic level. All right, on a more advanced level, the 1, 2, 3 is gone. And you go for a smooth, even, continuous flow. And it'll look more like this. You can close your eyes and just concentrate on what you feel and not what you see. Maintain constant contact, smooth, even, continuous energy flow. Very important. Don't want to get going too fast. Although, once you reach a certain skill level, you can really fly with these drills. You lose a certain degree of sensitivity by trying to go so fast. Also, it becomes very jerky. You lose the smoothness, and you also start to lose some of the economy of motion that you should be experiencing in the drill. Okay, now, we can turn this around. I can execute the Tan Sao. Okay, Mark will be in the Phuc Sao position. Okay, now once again, it's my responsibility to get us to this line of return every time, so I shouldn't be feeling a heaviness here. In other words, he wants to put just enough energy to hold his arm up and contact mine. But I shouldn't be trying to carry the weight of his arm when I'm in this Tan Sao position. Another important point that you'll want to remember when training with your partner. Okay, we start at the line of return, hands on guard. I fire the palm, he goes to Jeet. He fires the Chung Chuie, I go to Boang. We return together. So you have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Notice we're doing the 1, 2, 3 thing again. This is a basic level. This is to help you understand the 3 individual sequences of movement that are involved here. Okay, now we're going to go to the continuous flow. Let you see what it should look like when you get it down to where you've got just a smooth, even continuous flow here. Okay. Now, as you probably already imagined here, what can be done right lead to left lead can also be done left lead to right lead. So we'll show you briefly what this looks like from the other side. Okay, I'll change it around. Going the other way. Remember the line of return, very important. Hands on guard. Thank you, Mark. For more information on the actual formation of the hand positions and their actual uses, go back to the previous volumes that discuss things like attack and defense, and you can pick up on the basic structure. If there's anything that you don't understand at this time, maybe it's because you don't have those volumes. So you might want to go back and get those, or go back and review those and get down the basics of the positions, such as the Fook Sao, the Tan Sao, the palm strike, the straight punch, the Jeet Sao, the Boang Sao, things like that. Okay. In the next sequence, we're going to go into a rarely seen drill that we refer to as cross Arm Chi Sao. As mentioned before in the previous sequence, we're about to show you what's referred to as cross Arm Chi Sao. Cross Arm Chi Sao is a very little seen drill. It's a bit more complicated than Dan Chi Sao, which is the sticking hand drill that you just saw. In cross Arm Chi Sao, unlike Dan Chi Sao, which has 3 individual movements, the cross Arm Chi Sao has 6 individual movements in the sequence. So you're looking at a 6-movement sequence as opposed to a 3-movement sequence. Also, in Dan Chi Sao, you face your partner in an opposite lead. In other words, if you're in a right lead, he's in a left lead. When you do cross Arm Chi Sao, if you're in a right lead, your partner's in a right lead. If you're in a left lead, your partner's in a left lead. The lead hands engage at the outer wrist on the center line. This is where the drill starts from. Because the hands are crossing and engaged on the center line, the drill is called cross energy drill. Now, the 6 individual movements from the fighting stance will look like this. The partner will deliver a straight punch. You'll go to a Tan Sao. From there, you'll fire a straight punch. He'll go to a Boang Sao. From there, he'll deliver a downward side palm. You'll go to a Jeet Sao. From there, you'll fire a straight punch. He'll go to a Tan Sao. From there, he'll fire a straight punch. You'll go to a Boang Sao. From there, you'll go to a downward side palm. He'll go to a Jeet Sao. And he'll fire a straight punch. You'll go to a Tan Sao. And you're back to the starting position. So therefore you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. See? 6 individual movements. Now, you probably noticed that during the defensive movements, the body moved backward. During the offensive movements, the body moved forward. It's a very important part of this drill. The entire body gets into the drill. Now I'll show you that from the side, let you get a good side view before my partner joins me, and we show it to you with 2 people executing the drill. Okay, we start off cross arm on the center line. He'll fire a straight punch, I deflect with a Tan Sao. I'll fire a straight punch, he deflects with a Boang Sao. He goes with the downward side palm, I deflect with a Jeet Sao. I fire a straight punch, he deflects with a Tan Sao. He fires a straight punch, I deflect with a Boang Sao. I go to a downward side palm, he deflects with a Jeet Sao. He fires a straight punch, I deflect with a Tan. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, like so. All right, at this time, Mark will join me again, and we'll show you the drill as it applies with a partner. Okay, now, in this drill you need a little bit more space because of the body movement, so we're not going to stand quite so close together. All right, then we engage the wrists. Okay, now he'll start off with a punch. I'll deflect with a Tan. Okay, now it's a little bit different when you see it actually applied. He punches, I deflect with a Tan. I punch, he deflects with a Boang. Then he does the downward side palm, I deflect with a Jeet. Then I punch, he deflects with a Tan. He punches, I deflect with a Boang. Then I go to the downward side palm, he deflects with a Jeet, then he punches, and I Tan. Okay? Alright, so now, without all the conversation, this time I'm going to count. Now, I'm going to count this off a few times, and then I'm going to stop counting, and I'm just going to let you watch the flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we'll switch sides, show you what it looks like from a different angle. Thank you, Mark. As you see, once you get this down, it has a very smooth, even, continuous energy flow. It's a very interesting drill. It's well worth the time and the effort that you put into it. The benefits are many. Alright, in the next sequence we're going to go into Arm Chi Sao, or double arm sticking. In this sequence, we're going to be going over Arm Chi Sao, or double arm sticking hands. This is the famous Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do drill. It comes from Wing Chun. Many people have seen it or heard of it, but they don't really know how to do it. It's very difficult to pick this up without actual hands-on training. but with this video we hope to give you some basic guidelines that would at least get you started. Okay, there are several possibilities for your footing during Seong Chi Sao. You could face each other squarely, you could face each other right lead to right lead to left lead, or left lead to right lead. It doesn't really matter, because the hand positions and the circle and the flowing are what is actually important here. Alright, there's also what we refer to as hand changes, which we'll be showing you the hand changes also. There's what's referred to as a foot change, and there's what's referred to as a time change. We'll be showing you that so you know how to change positions. Alright, I'm going to start off showing you the basic hand positions and showing you the basic circle and giving you some basic guidelines to go by with your Chi Sao. Okay, now I'm going to show you one arm at a time, and then I'm going to show you how to put it together and how to form the circle. Okay, in this particular instance, I'm going to assume a right lead. My right hand is going to be in the Tan Sao position. Okay, now, in this case, my right arm would start in the Tan Sao, and I would rotate through the circle and end up in a Boang Sao. So we're going Tan Sao to Boang Sao. Palm up hand to wing arm. Notice the half circle formed by my wrist here. Notice also that the hand comes completely to the bottom and completely to the top. In other words, it's not a partial circle, it's a complete half circle. Okay, so you're looking at a half circle here, not just a quarter of a circle, but a full half circle. Okay, now the other hand is going to maintain what we call a Foot Sao position with the elbow in and down. It will be completing the other half of the circle. Notice once again, you see the actual half circle. If you watch my wrist, you see the circle forming. Now when I put it together, this is what we have. Now you see the full circle formed by the two arms moving. The circle should be roughly the size of, say, a volleyball, something of that nature. Now the circle is at the wrist. Don't pay any attention to the hands. The circle is made by the wrists. Okay, that's the basic roll. Now there are a few guidelines that determine the size of the actual circle that you make. There's also what's referred to as the blending of perimeters. When you're training with someone in this drill, you need to be aware of the fact that if someone is taller than you, you have to raise your position a little bit. If someone is lower than you, you have to lower your position a little bit. This is what we refer to as blending perimeters. The circle takes place in an imaginary area between the height of your rib solar plexus and the height of your mouth. Okay? This is the area. The circle takes place in this area. Okay? Now, if someone is taller than you, you have to take into consideration where their mouth is and where their solar plexus is, and where your mouth is and where your solar plexus is. This is what we call blending perimeters. This would mean that if they were sticking with someone their own height, and then they went to sticking with someone shorter, they would have to lower their hands. If I'd been sticking with someone my own height, and then I went to someone taller, I would have to raise my hands in order to blend these perimeters. Now, this is not a very difficult concept to understand. Once you get it down, there's nothing quite like it. It's really an interesting feeling. And there's an infinite number of possibilities for striking, trapping, and grappling movements that you can execute from Seong Chi Sao once you get it down. Considering all these possibilities, you have, once again, striking, you have trapping, you have grappling. All this can be executed from the sticking. And Mark's going to join me now. We're going to show you the basic form for the sticking. We'll give you a little preview. After we show you this, we'll give you a little preview of some of this striking and some of this trapping and some of the things that you'll be picking up in a latter tape, which is strictly on Seong Chi Sao with trapping. Okay, now you'll notice that Mark is just a little bit taller than me, so this blending of perimeters that we discussed is going to come into play here. All right. We're going to start off with me in a Tan Sao with the right hand and a Phuc Sao with the left hand, which means it's Mark's in a Tan Sao with the right hand and a Phuc Sao with the left hand also. Okay, now from here we begin the basic roll. Now I have to raise my hands a little bit and he has to lower his hands a little bit to accommodate this blending of perimeters that we were talking about. Okay, now it's very important once again that we complete our circle each time, which means that at this point one hand is going to be completely at the top, the other hand is going to be completely at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to turn on some oblique angles and let you see this from a different angle so that you'll maybe better understand what we're doing here. Maybe you can see the circle a little bit better from this angle. Notice that the hands remain loose. They're allowed to just kind of flop around here. Cut out all excess tension. You want just enough tension here to maintain the contact and keep the flow going. Okay? We'll change to another angle. Good. And then finally, from the other side. Once again, notice completion of the circle. Either way. Notice that the elbow stays in and down on the Phuc Sao arm on both sides. That's very important. Also notice that the elbows lead the body throughout the movement. Never do you allow the elbows to get crammed into the body. They always lead the body. That's very important here. Elbows always lead the body. Okay, now we're going to show you what we refer to as hand changes. Alright, not always when you're doing Chi Sao will your right hand be doing Tan to Boang and your left hand just do Phuc Sao. Occasionally, the right arm will do Phuc Sao and the left arm will do Tan to Boang, like so. Alright. Normally, being right lead, we tend to start out our sticking with the right hand in the Tan Sao position and the left hand in the Phuc Sao position. But it's very important that you understand not only this way of sticking, but also this way of sticking. Because if you've only felt one side and you only understand one side, there's a limitation that you've placed on yourself that shouldn't be there. You need to fully understand both sides. Now, to keep from having to say, okay, stop, we're going to go the other way now, and then go, we have what we call hand changes. Right now, there is a Phuc Sao change, and there is a Tan Sao change. Okay, Mark will join me now, and we're going to go on this angle again. I'm going to show you these changes from an angle. I think you'll be able to see them better and understand them better from this angle. Okay, we'll start out in the standard right hand Tan Sao position. Okay, now first I'm going to show you what we refer to as the Tan change. This is how the Tan Sao changes position and becomes the Phuc Sao. At the bottom, as we start to roll to the top, I will execute what's referred to as a Huan Sao, which will bring me into the Phuc Sao position. Now I'm doing double Phuc Sao, and Mark is doing double Tan to Boang. Okay, now Mark will do the same hand change on the other side. He'll do the Tan change on that side, and that'll bring us back into the standard Arm Chi Sao roll. Okay? So, show you that again. This time we'll speed it up a little bit. We'll go a little bit closer to normal speed and let you see the change again. Okay, now we're going to change back. Once again, using only the Tan change. This means I'll be changing with my left side, and Mark will be changing with his left side. Now we're back to the standard Chi Sao roll. Okay, notice this. Notice my Boang Sao position. This is a good angle for you to see this from. Notice that there's greater than 90 degrees bend in the arm. And also notice that the wrist is higher than the elbow. That's very important in the Boang Sao position. Okay, notice my Phuc Sao position. Notice that my elbow is in and down. Okay, we roll. All right, notice the elbow still in and down. Notice my Tan Sao position has achieved complete bottom. Okay, now, one more time with the Tan change, and then we're going to show you what we refer to as the Phuc change. Now from the other side. And we're back to the standard roll. Okay? Now, so that you can better see the Phuc Sao, we'll execute it from this angle. Okay, now from the standard right Tan to Boang, left-handed Phuc, okay? At the top, instead of circling, I'm suddenly going to press straight down. Okay, now there's a definite difference, and Mark will feel this, there's a definite difference between a circle and a straight downward push. Alright, he senses this difference. That's the sign for him to roll and change his position. So, when I press straight down, he flows around. Now see where we are. I'm doing double Tan to Boang. He's doing double Phuc. Okay, now he'll do the Phuc change on the other side. He'll press straight down. I'll sense that. I'll roll. Now here we are, going the other way. Okay, now we'll take it back the other way. I'm going to initiate here. Then he'll initiate with his left side. And now we're back into the standard roll. Okay, so from the roll, for the Phuc Sao change, at the top, as this arm starts to roll, this hand, instead of rolling in a circle, will press straight down. Okay? That's very important. Alright, now, we're going to show you this from the side. We're just going to stick some from the side, and we're going to implement these changes at will, and we're going to show you how this can get to be kind of fun. You just continuously roll, continuously implement these changes at will. See, the changes can sometimes be so subtle that they're barely noticeable. Kind of fun. We have a good time doing this. You will too once you learn how. So, that's how the basic roll works. That's how the basic hand changes work. Now, as promised, I told you I would give you a little preview of what the Chi Sao looks like with some of the tracking moves. Okay, now we're not going to show you much, but this will just give you a taste of what's coming in the volume on Seong Chi Sao with trapping. Mark will join me now, and we'll just go through a few exchanges. I'll do something, then he'll do something. We'll just trade it off. We'll just do a few things for you. We won't get too complicated. Just give you a little preview. Okay, that'll give you a basic idea of some of the things that you can do from this. In the next sequence, we're going to show you some Seong Chi Sao strengthening drills to strengthen the arms for Seong Chi Sao. In this sequence, we're going to show you some of the basic strengthening drills that you can use to strengthen your arm positions for Seong Chi Sao. The emphasis here is on strengthening the Phuc Sao and strengthening the Boang Sao. There are several ways to do these drills. You can do these drills one arm, or you can do these drills with both arms. You can do these drills doing the actual Chi Sao sequence. The idea here is to insert a heavy shock of forward energy right into the top of the circle. Okay, Mark will join me now, and we'll demonstrate first one arm application of this, a one arm variation of this. Mark will take a left lead, I'll take a right lead. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to roll halfway, and then we're just going to kind of shock forward. So you're working half of the roll here, and then you're applying that shocking forward energy. Now when I say forward energy, I mean we're pressing directly into each other's center line. Notice that the hands still remain loose and relaxed. The pressure comes in from the wrist. Now I think you can see how over a period of time such exercises could greatly strengthen the forward energy capability of the Phuc Sao and of the Boang Sao position. Alright, then we could change it up and go the other way. Once again, that shock, that shocking forward energy right at the top of the half circle. Okay, now, another way to do this drill is to apply both arms to the drill with one partner in a double Phuc Sao, the other partner starting in a double Tan Sao. We roll and we shock with the forward energy at the top. Okay, we can go the other way. Very good conditioning for the arms. Okay, that's another example of how you can do the drill. All right, another way that we can do this is for me to take a double foot Sao, Mark to take a double ton, and we roll and apply the forward energy just at the top of the roll. Just a subtle shocking forward pressure right on the center line at the top of the roll. And we change it. Okay. Now from here, we go to the actual roll with one hand going ton to Boang, the other hand applying the foot Sao. And the shot comes in at the top. Notice the hands still remain relaxed. Notice how we just flow and the shot comes in right at the top. Okay, if you'll do these particular drills as often as possible with your partner, you'll get great benefit out of this. It doesn't take long to build a very strong forward energy into your foot Sao and a very strong forward energy into your Boang Sao, which has very, very, very heavy trapping hand and defensive application. In the next sequence, we're going to show you a drill that's called the Sao Wedge Drill. In this sequence, we're going to show you a modified Wing Chun drill. It's referred to as a Sao Wedge Drill. This teaches you to wedge with a Sao or insert a Sao during a trapping sequence to momentarily retain an arm to give you time to land a Pak Sao or re-trap the arm and strike. In this drill, you'll develop your Sao, you'll develop your Boang Sao, you'll develop your Pak Sao, you'll also develop your side palm strike. Mark will join me now. We'll show you how the drill works. It's actually a very simple drill, but at first to you it's probably going to look somewhat complicated, but it's actually very simple. Now we normally do this from somewhat square stance, and eventually you develop a level of skill where you sort of move around. We're not going to move around much in front of the camera, but we do want to give you a good idea of what the drill looks like. Now we're going to start off kind of slow and show you how the drill applies, and then we're going to exchange sides. You can do this with the right side striking or with the left side striking. And then we're going to show you some practical applications of the drill, some of the benefits that you get from the drill in trapping application. Okay, now we start the drill by measuring off with a side palm smash so that you're just out of striking range. Okay, this is where the drill is applied from. Just out of striking range. All right, now, what I'm going to do, he's going to bring that side palm in. Okay, now I'm going to bring a Sao in. I'm going to wedge with it. At this time, he will yield to a Boang Sao position. Then I will apply a Pak Sao, and I'll fire a side palm, which he'll meet with a Boang Sao. Okay, now so at this one point, he is in both a high and low Boang Sao. Then he'll bring a Sao in, wedge, he'll fire the Pak Sao and the side palm, and I find myself in both a low and high Boang Sao position. Then it's Sao, Pak Sao, side palm. Sao, Pak Sao, side palm. Sao, Pak Sao, side palm. Pak, side palm. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movements to the drill. So think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like so. Alright, so you got Sao coming into wedge. Pak Sao, trapping the arm. Side palm, which is deflected with a Boang Sao. And he's got a Tan Sao, a Pak Sao, and a side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so as you can see, this is a 6-beat movement. All right, now insert. Okay, now this time we're striking with the left arm. Keep that in mind. Both sides will be striking with the left arm. Now this is a side palm. This is designed to fit the jaw. You probably remember this from the hand technique tape, but this technique, it fits in nicely and drives the head back, exposing the throat and the side of the neck to attack. Okay, so we start the drill by measuring off with the side palm. Alright, now I meet that with a Boang. Okay, then we got the Tan coming in, then the Pak, then the side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. Okay, we have a little fun with this. Alright, we're going to get it going. Just let you see what it looks like. Free flow, you're looking for a smooth, even, continuous flow. Now notice, the faster we go, the more economical we get. You eventually end up where you're working in a very small square. Everything is coming in just a very small square. Show you that from another angle. Insert palm. See, everything is working in this little area right here. You're sort of making a little box. This has also been referred to as a box drill because you're also making a little box here. Show it to you from another angle. Insert palm. Okay, as you can see, you develop a great deal of speed here. All right, now Mark's going to assume his original position. This time he's going to insert palm with the right arm. So this time the right arm will be striking during the drill. I meet it with a Boang. Tan Sao, Pak Sao, side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. Tan, Pak, side palm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, we'll start off flowing kind of slow. We'll gradually build up the speed. Then we'll show it to you from some different angles. Insert. Okay? Give it to you from this angle. Okay, insert palm. Gradually turn. Close in. Okay? Now, as you can see, this develops a smooth, even, continuous flow, constantly changing the positions, alternating from defensive position to offensive position. Now, just to give you a basic idea of simple application, if we were in a fighting stance, he were to fire a lead hand punch, and I were to parry and punch, then if he were to parry with this hand, and if he were to cross the center, okay, a little closer. What you might not realize, but what you were seeing was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're actually seeing the drill applied here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. Okay? So that'll give you some idea of how the drill applies in a practical combat situation. In the next sequence, we're going to show you the final drill in this tape, which will be some Tai Chi push hands. In this sequence, we're going to show you a little bit of what is known as Tai Chi push hands. This comes from the Chinese art of Tai Chi Chuan, which is more of a form of exercise for developing the internal organs. But when you add the term Chuan to it, Chuan meaning fist, that means that you have made it the combative application of the art. So what we're going to do here, we're going to show you a little bit of the Tai Chi drills that we use. Now, keep in mind that we are not extremely proficient at this because we're not Tai Chi practitioners, but we do feel that these drills have a certain practical application, and that they do teach a certain relaxation and teach a certain flow, and they're also good for warding off an oncoming opponent. So we'll show you the single hand application, then we'll show you the double hand application, and then we'll show you just some couple of practical uses for this particular type of drill. Okay, Mark will join me now, and we'll begin with some single arm Chi Sao, Tai Chi. Okay, now we're going to adjust our positions here and get where we're in a comfortable position for this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to be sort of making a circle, sort of a large circle. And we're going to just kind of flow. We're going to shift our weight back, and we're going to shift our weight forward. We're going to shift our weight back. We're just going to kind of flow here. Now, keep in mind, once again, we're not Tai Chi practitioners, nor do we claim to be. This is just an exercise that we do feel like it has a certain benefit. And it is a well-known fact that Bruce Lee, in his earlier years, practiced Tai Chi, and that's he felt a certain effectiveness for some of the Tai Chi energy drills, such as push hands. Okay, so here we go with single push hand. We're going to start off, we're going to engage at the wrist. Now, we're going to maintain the on guard position with the hand, the rear hand. Now I'm going to push toward Mark. Now Mark is going to yield and carry that energy around and ward it off to the side. Then he's going to push in toward me. I'm going to rotate my wrist and I'm going to ward his energy off. He's going to yield and ward off. I'm going to yield and ward off. Now we're going to sort of make a circle here. Now we're just going to kind of flow with this. Notice how we just flow back and forth. Basically no energy being exerted here, just the energy that it takes to do the movement. We're not pushing hard against each other. We're just maintaining the contact, and we're just flowing. Okay, now, we're not putting quite as much waist turn as a traditional Tai Chi practitioner would be putting into this movement. But this is just to give you a basic idea of what we're looking for here. We're just working in sort of a big circle, and we're just kind of flowing. We're pressing and yielding, pressing and yielding, pressing and yielding, okay? Back and forth. Just kind of relaxing. Very enjoyable drill. Okay, now we're going to bring the other hand in. We're going to do some double hand. Okay, notice when we're pushing, the hands are in the vertical position. Okay, and when we're being pushed, the upper hand is in somewhat similar position to a Boang style. We're still trying to make this big circle, and we're just flowing. Just a smooth, even, continuous flow. And we're not losing contact of each other. So this is, in a way, sort of a sticking hand type movement. Yielding, warding off. Yielding, warding off. So you yield, you press. You yield, you press. You yield, you press. You yield, you press. Smooth, even, continuous flow. That's what you're looking for. Okay, now, I know a lot of you are looking at this and you're probably saying, well, this doesn't look quite as effective, or this doesn't look quite as practical as some of the other things that I've shown you. Every drill, no matter how effective the drill seems to be at the time, or how ineffective the drill seems to be at the time, it does have a serious practical application, and that's what you should keep in mind. Now, This particular drill is effective for if someone should suddenly decide to rush you. You're not in a fighting stance, you're just kind of caught off guard. You've seen somebody just rush up and push somebody down. Well, if you've had training in this particular type of movement, this particular method of push hands, it becomes a very simple matter for you understanding the pressing and yielding, the energy that you develop from this circular flow. It becomes a very simple matter for you when someone rushes in just to use your hands and the turn of the waist to sort of ward them off and deflect them. Now he can come in at me and he can try to push me or whatever. Now he just goes rushing on by. Now can you imagine how embarrassing it would be in some situation for some big guy to come up and lunge at you in some way and you just send him on his way. But that's just some of the practical applications that this drill has. Okay, that concludes the energy and sensitivity drill portion of this tape, and that's pretty much all of the energy and sensitivity drills that we teach in the USJKDA in our Junfan Jeet Kune Do program. In the next tape, we will go into basic trapping hands. Trapping is probably the most interesting phase of Jeet Kune Do training. It's probably what draws more people to Jeet Kune Do than any other art. Okay, if you are not currently a member of the United States Jeet Kune Do Alliance, and if you would like to join, I would be glad to have you as a member. The USJKDA is currently the only organization in the world that is devoted exclusively to the preservation, promotion, and perpetuation of Bruce Lee's original method. If you would like to become a member, you can write to me, Lamar Davis II, at 267 West Valley Avenue, suite number 223, Birmingham, Alabama, zip code 35209. Or you can call me, area code 205-664-5625. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have about these instructional videos, about our organization, about our training program, and about our instructor development program. So, if there's any way I can be of assistance to you, please feel free to write me or call anytime, and we'll do what we can to help you out. I look forward to seeing you in the next tape, Junfan Jeet Kune Do Complete, Volume 9, Basic Trapping Hands.